Hello and welcome once again to Jacob's Toys 5 minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. We're taking a look at CHASM from Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro-esque wave. So who is CHASM? Let's have a look. Let's get him out of the box, talk a little bit about the character, and obviously take a look at the figure. So first things first, the figure itself is okay. There's a lot of reuse there, but there's also a couple of new sculpted bits as well. So the entire figure is pinned because it is on an older mould. It's got an ab crunch and a waist swivel. He comes with 2 effect pieces and of course these web shooter things on his wrists as well. Now the actual head sculpt is a newly sculpted bit. They've done a really good job with that. They've kind of sculpted the kind of detail of his mask, and the rest is of course just paintwork on an older mould. But the paintwork is cool and the lines are very cool. I can't see any immediate paint issues or QC issues, so overall I'm not too fussed. Now I'm not a big hater of reusing this particular body mold when it comes to Spider-Man costumes. I'm not overly disappointed because essentially it's Spider-Man. CHASM though is not Spider-Man, he is Ben Reilly. So this was back in, I think it was like 2022, maybe a bit earlier than that. This entire wave is based on the early 2020s. But either way, it was part of the Beyond storyline, and in a nutshell, Ben Reilly became CHASM after he had all of his memory taken away from him, and he became this kind of super villain who became an antagonist in the Spider-Man comic books. The really cool thing about him is that he was able to kind of create things from his web using energy, hence why we've got these effect pieces, so he could materialize things that he wanted out of his webbing, if that makes sense. But he became quite the villain for Spider-Man, because essentially he's like an evil Spider-Man. That's probably a better way of putting it. An evil Ben Reilly. The webbing thing is quite cool, and that's all tied in with like how he became CHASM. No, I've always read it as CHASM. That's how you say it, CHASM. But yeah, it's not too bad of a figure. I think this one is going to again appeal to people that have read the storyline. If you haven't read the storyline or you're not familiar with this version of Ben Reilly, then it's probably not going to appeal to you, and you're probably going to leave it behind. If you're a collector of Spider-Man characters and Spider-Man suits, then I think this is definitely one of them. Now, although it's not directly a Spider-Man, personally I'll still put him in my Spider-Man collection. I'll still put him with the suits because technically it was Ben Reilly originally and then he got turned into this, so it's sort of an evil Spider-Man. There's been so many over the years, let's be perfectly honest with you, but you know, kudos to the writers being able to come up with a different version of evil Spider-Man. We've had various different kind of evil versions go up against him over the years throughout various different comic books, so to be able to kind of come up with an original idea and kind of write a storyline around the character becoming something new always has to be commended, in my opinion. So I'm really pleased that they've done a figure of him. I've seen a lot of customs of him. I've seen quite a few of those because it is quite an easy one to customize, in the respect that a lot of it is just paintwork. So yes, on this particular figure the head is sculpted, but the rest of it is very much just paintwork. So you could quite easily customize this one, and I have seen quite a few people customize it on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. But yeah, as a figure, not too bad. I'm not surprised they didn't waste all the new tooling on making him pin this, because I don't think he's going to be overly popular. I think this was just a little bit of fan service for those of us that wanted this version of Spider-Man on their shelf. I keep saying Spider-Man, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's probably one of the weaker figures in the wave, if I'm perfectly honest, only because the wave is pretty strong. But I think because it's a Spider-Man or a variation of, I could probably put him a little bit higher, because this is one I would pick up. Now the interesting thing about this wave is because it's the retro style box, there isn't a builder figure, so you are buying each of the figures out of this wave because you want that particular figure. So would this one have been a bit more popular if there's a builder figure piece with it? Of course it would. but there isn't. So let's see how he sells. Thanks very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. All supports the channel is very much appreciated. So there we go. Until next time, I'll see you soon.